When pet owners go on vacation, it's customary for them to leave their animals with a local boarder. But what happens when that boarder loses your dog? One Lindale family recently found out.
We boarded our dogs on May the 16th for vacation. We were leaving on Sunday the 18th. At approximately 11:45 on Saturday morning, we received a phone call from the vet, Hideaway Small Animal Clinic, where we had our dogs boarded, saying our little Shih Tzu had disappeared. We immediately went up there to try to find him. When we got up there, we found out that they discovered him missing at 8:30, but they did not call us till 11:45. When they found out that he was missing, they got a phone call pretty quick after that. A woman called and said that she found a black and white Shih Tzu in South Tyler. So the girls immediately went 36 miles into South Tyler to pick up this black and white Shih Tzu when my dog is obviously tan and white. So this whole time, no one was looking for my dog. After we did some investigation, we found out that he was actually seen for the first time in the Valero Kid Jones parking lot at 7:37 on Saturday morning. A gentleman from Hideaway tried to catch him for probably about 20 minutes, but he was just scared and he kept running from him. That gentleman then went over to Hideaway Small Animal Clinic and knocked on the door, trying to get its attention that a dog was loose, and no one would come to the door. So they had no idea at that point he was even missing.
You thought your dog was safely secure in the place where you boarded him?
That's correct. He was in the parking lot at 7:37 running around, and I was there at 8:30, around the same time that they discovered him missing at the clinic, and no one notified us at that time. It was 4 hours later before we got a phone call that he was even missing.
Dr. Beard, how long have you been here at this location?
Been here for 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
And has anything like this happened before? I mean,
certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. When we're dealing with this many dogs in and out, occasionally we have one that decides to leave prematurely.
Right. But do you usually find that dog pretty quickly, or?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes not.
Okay. Well, how many times are we talking about? Do you know?
Maybe 5 in the last 15 years.
5 times in the last 15 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
what do you do in a situation like this with the Waters family, with Winston, who's a little Shih Tzu, from what they tell me? What do you do with a dog like that when the dog is in y'all's care and it comes up missing? What do you do for the family? Is there anything you can do for the family, or?
Well, we try to offer them everything that we can.
Right.
Obviously, the most important thing is to try and find the pet.
Right.
And I wish I could say that, that's an easy thing to do. But if the pet doesn't want to be found, it's not necessarily an easy thing.
Right. Or somebody's picked it up and decides to keep the pet.
Exactly.
Now, last week when all this happened, there was a dog found in South Tyler that your people went down and picked up because they thought it might be Winston.
Exactly.
And you got it all the way back up here, but that dog turned out to live in the neighborhood where you got it from.
Right.
So I guess y'all got that dog back to that owner.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just kind of been a...
yeah, that was one of those crazy things of timing. You're out here looking for a Shih Tzu, and somebody calls and says, I have a Shih Tzu.
Right.
You're going.
Right.
And that's, and so, hindsight, if we'd have said, hey, what's the tag number on that dog?
Right.
But what's the chances of
and it was your tag, so it was a dog that you actually take care of.
It was a patient of ours.
Right. Now, I spoke with Dr. Beard at the clinic, and he, of course, said, he was upset about this, but this was not the first time. How do you feel knowing that at least 5, according to him, at least 5 dogs over the years have gotten out of his kennel and have never been found?
It makes me very angry. If we would have known that, our dogs wouldn't have been boarded there. We had no idea. I mean, who boards their dogs at a vet clinic and expects them to get loose and be lost? We put them there to be safe while we're gone on vacation. We pay for them to be safe. So no, I had no idea.
Okay, so it was in one of these pens that just went out. You think it went out the back?
That's the only way it could get out.
And so maybe it climbed up to this wider spot here.
We have some dog houses next to the fence. And if he jumped on top of it, then he could get out there.
Right.
But we have the covering over that pen that he's in. There's no way he could have scaled the fence and climbed out. That's the only way that he could have gotten out.
What do you have to say to those out there who may be going on vacation this week and having to board their dogs?
You better check your boarder out very carefully. Make sure they have a plan in action if a dog does go missing. Make sure they know what they're going to do immediately to search for the dog, and make sure that there's no way they can escape out of their kennels.
Because Winston is a member of your family.
Yes, very much so. He's like another child.
So this is really kind of a bad situation.
It's a bad situation
for you and for
for all of us,
right.
for the Waters, for us. Hopefully, it's not for Winston, and we all hope that somebody's picked him up and he's in somebody's home right now. I just don't know that for sure.
Winston remains missing, and the family is angry and upset.